Sponsored by True Tech Tools. Quality tools, essential support. TrueTechTools.com.
What's up, YouTube? Just wanted to shoot a little bit of a video talking about the Redfish iDVM 510, giving my opinion and just an overview of the device. So one of the first things that I noticed with the tool was that the magnet that's on the strap is not very strong. So with that being an issue, if you hang it on the side of a unit vertically like this, the magnet will allow the device to slide down, and that could be annoying. If you hook it over the top of the unit where it has the magnet on top and it's pulling down on the strap this way, it stays pretty well, but a lot of times I don't get an option to hang it over the top. So what I did is I took, just like my other accessories, I took one of the magnets off of some of the blue tube ultraviolet lights, and it comes with a hole in the center, and it comes with a short screw and a grommet on the back, and the Redfish strap has a loop in it that tightly fits over that Teflon grommet. And then I went to the hardware store and grabbed a washer for 12 cents, 13 cents, that gives me the option of having a much stronger magnet on the device without actually altering the strap and the original magnet. One thing that I was kind of disappointed in the meter is that the strap on the back is a lot thinner than, say, the strap on your Fluke equipment, and it would be really nice if that strap slot was a little bit larger so that you could actually interchange a Fluke strap, because Fluke also has the option of a plastic hook that can go on the strap and hold the meter on a rim of a metal door or whatever, which, you know, the magnet will allow you to do that without too much trouble, but I would have liked to see a strap that was a little bit thicker, wider, and to me, what I would call a little bit more standard. The strap is good. There's nothing wrong with it. Another thing in regards to it is the battery door. The battery door is connected to the kickstand, and when you go to change the battery, which is a 9-volt battery, you have to get a couple of clips at the top after you pull the screw, and it's kind of a big bulky door just to change a battery. It would be cool or nice if the battery door was a dedicated door that wasn't connected to all the other stuff. And I don't expect them to take my complaints and change their design, but the strap and the battery door would be nice to see those different in a future meter. The MN01 by AEMC, the current transformer strap, pipe clamp, amp clamp, is a nice amp clamp. It's rated apparently down to 2 amps, but I've read multiple circuits below 2 amps, and I feel that they've come off with very good accuracy. It is a little bit aggravating to be rolling back and forth between volts and amps, and then also unplugging and plugging back in the common lead on the separate amp current transformer and the voltage leads. But I've focused on using this meter primarily over the past couple of weeks, and it hasn't been that bad beyond a little bit of a learning curve to get used to it. If I was a little bit more ballsy in chopping up brand new stuff, I would be interested to see if it would be possible to splice the common leads so that both the volt common and the amp current transformer common were parallel, and you could literally just roll the meter rather than having to unplug and plug in a common lead, because you can leave your volts hot leg and your amps hot leg, the red wires, plugged in, and all you have to do is swap back and forth on the common lead. I haven't used the Redfish app that integrates with the meter a whole lot, simply for the fact that the purpose of me getting this meter was to utilize it with the iManifold app. That has been really cool, really nice, because previously, to get your amps and volts input into the app, you had to take your reading, ground to line 1, ground to line 2, and then manually type it into the app, which was only a couple of seconds, but still a couple of seconds and a little bit of setting down the meter and picking up the tablet or the phone. And then the amps, typically you could just run the amp clamp on it and watch it while you're typing it in. But with the Redfish integrated into the iManifold, it allows you to just take your voltage, take your other voltage, switch to amps, take amps, take amps, and it spits it into the app. You can take your amps starting at the air handler and volts starting at the air handler or furnace, and then go outside as an option. But by default, unless you tell it you want to start at the air handler, the app defaults to the condenser as your first electrical input, and all you have to do is roll the dial on the app between volts and amps, and it will automatically decide where to input that information. A couple of things that I would really like to see coming, and I believe they are coming down the line later than sooner, unfortunately, would actually be electrical troubleshooting built into the iManifold application, sort of like the quick tests that you can do for airflow and clocking the gas meter. That would be a really beneficial feature for technicians that are trying to learn and understand the electrical troubleshooting situation. You could have things like testing a compressor, as far as the 321 compressor lead check or compressor terminal check. It'd be really cool to be able to see or input capacitors directly into the mechanical checklist. And then ultimately, I would also like it to be enabled that you could input your voltage and then have your amp lead on the amp line, and instead of automatically recording, maybe it could be an option in the app where you could either automatically record amps or watch amps over time, and then when you take your snapshot for your report, have it save whatever amperage it's seeing at that moment. Sort of like every other sensor that's with the iManifold, your temperature sensors, your pressure sensors, your line temperatures, your manometer, all of those sensors watch everything live, and then when you take your snapshot, it records it in a moment in time. I guess the only thing that doesn't actually record a moment in time is your static. To be able to get return and supply independently, you actually have to capture return and supply independently, or total external and return, or total external and supply, and it'll automatically populate return or supply depending on which one you've captured. That's a nice feature for the static pressure manometer. Other things that would be cool to see in the application is to throw every potential reading into the trending menu. It would be nice to watch voltages over time on a trending graph, amps over time on a trending graph, anything that's on the meter, flame sensors, um, watch ohms if you wanted to, watch your millivolts, milliamps, things like that. Temperature, you could trend temperature on the meter, even though you've got that option everywhere else. That would be really cool to be able to see basically every feature that's on the Redfish meter already dumped into the application to allow you to trend it and input it into the app. On your mechanical checklist, you're checking things like blower amps, blower capacitors, compressor capacitor, condenser fan capacitor. All of that information would be really convenient to be able to just dump into the app. I think I'm going to close this up in a second, but on a final thought, the one thing that I would really like to see would be a dedicated amps and volts meter, or 1 amp, 1 volts, however you want to do it, Jim, and the guys at Stride Tool. But I'd be willing to pay a heck of a lot of money for a meter that was Zigbee and had the capacity to read up to 3 legs of amperage, and then another meter if necessary, because it seems like it would make sense that way, with the capacity to read up to 3 legs of voltage with a 4th grounding clip, alligator clamps, whatever, so that you could see all of that information at the same time. If the workaround in the short term is to simply enable multiple Redfish meters to be connected at the same time, I'd be, ecstatic with that. Hopefully sooner than later. That would be something that, I'd really like to see happen with multiple amps, multiple volts, to be able to watch all of that and trend it and log it and all of that sort of thing as you check a system out. I'm not crazy about the multiple meter option, simply for the fact that they are this big rather than the size of a repeater. But it would be better than, having to read amps individually at different times. I'd like to see all of them at the same time. One thing that I've wanted to start working on as an additional final thought is actually using 2 meters and having one upstairs, say on a split system, furnace or air handler, whatever, and when I go upstairs, connect to the iManifold with that meter, take my readings, and then go back outside with the second meter, connect to that one, and take my condenser readings, so that I don't have to keep disconnecting. And then at the end of the job, I collect all my sensors anyway, and I think that would be one way to do multiple meters for split systems. At $150 for the meter itself, and then the package that TrueTech Tools offers at $200 for the current transformer, the AEMC MN01. I looked all over online and I could not find that current transformer under $100, except for TrueTech Tools. They're offering it at an $80 price tag for the current transformer by itself, and then with the MN, or the meter, the iDVM itself, they're offering a package of the current transformer and the meter together for only $200. So for $200, you get a really convenient way to input information automatically into the iManifold app. But anyway, I'm going to quit talking. I've run on for about 15 minutes now. Hopefully some of this information helps you guys to decide whether or not you would actually want the iDVM meter, or if you're willing to wait for a little while. Patrick over at Redfish, it's been great talking and working with you, discussing the meter, and I look forward to the option of having a Redfish meter that is an amp clamp plus all of the other features, where the amp capacity is built in. But anyway, I've lingered on for another minute, and I'm sure I'm boring somebody. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.
Blind man, I see you walking through this cold, cold night.